Hey everyone, today I am grooming Tilly the Shih Tzu. She is getting a 0 clip comb all over, and I'm going to use the clipper vac to do that today. First, I'm going to grab a little brush. I'm just going to give her some love. She's very anxious, so the slower I go, the better. I'm going to start by checking her ears, and they do need to be plucked, so I'm going to grab some ear powder and just put that in there. I'm going to hold the ear canal open, and then I'm just going to pull straight up and out. They weren't too bad, but she needed them done today. Going to go around to the other side. You can see I'm putting some in there. I'm just going to pull it straight up and out, like I said, and hold that ear canal open. Alright, so we're in the tub, and I'm just going to rinse her face first. She's going to fight me a little bit. Just going to make sure her head is nice and wet. I always do my heads first. And just make sure to get her nice and rinsed. I'm going to go do her anal glands. For her face, I'm going to use the Equus Micro Teak shampoo, and this is tearless. I have gotten some in my own eyes before, and it did not burn. So for Shih Tzus, especially like her, where the bridge of the nose is really short, I'm going to use this as my go-to shampoo for the face. I'm just going to make sure to get that nice and clean. I'm going to wash it again. And then I'm going to use Lavaderm from Nature Specialties on her butt. It's just one of my favorite scents to use, and I realized it cleans very well, and then it makes it smell really good. I'm going to use the pre-wash that I have, and I think I have Hypoactive from Pre-grooming in there. And it basically just cuts down the dirt a little bit for this first wash, just to make the second wash easier, and also I use less shampoo doing this. I'm just going to make sure to cover her whole body. And I have a gallon jug set up in the corner there, you just can't see it, and I've got a couple pumps of the Hypo in there. I'm just going to rinse her face with regular water. Make sure not to get any in the nose. And then I'm going to rinse the rest of her body as well. I'm going to go in and do her face again just for a second time. She's got really bad tear stains, and it's quite stinky, so I try and wash it twice just to get up in there. And then I'm going to wash her butt again. I let the face and the butt sit the longest with the shampoo, just because those are the stinkiest areas. And then I think I have Almond Crisp from Nature Specialties in this bottle, and I'm just going to go ahead and wash the rest of her body with this. I've got a nice perfume from Show Season. It is toasted almond, and it pairs really, really well with this shampoo, so that's why I like to use it. I've also noticed the slower I go with her, the more comfortable she is. She has some leg issues, some back leg issues. So she's very, very sensitive when it comes to picking her up and moving her across the table. She does not like it. She will lay down, as you'll see later in the video. So I'm just going to take this all on her body and just make sure she's washed up real good. She does really good in the tub. Most of my dogs do. Now I'm just going to rinse her all over really good. She came in pretty clean today, so I don't need to wash her a second time. And turn that off. Make sure she's got no butt crusties. Here I'm just going to make sure to towel dry her as well as I can. She'll dry faster the less soaking wet she is, so we just try and get all up in there and dry her real good to make sure she's not dripping. Here I'm just going to clean her ears out. I think we use the Nature's Specialty ear cleaner, if I can remember correctly. And I just have it in the little pump bottle. It does pretty well with cleaning the ears out. And she's got some eye boogers, so I'm just going to take a flea comb and just pull all those out. I've noticed with her, I cannot use a happy hoodie because it presses too much on her throat and then she starts to sound like a pig when she's breathing. So just to make sure nothing interrupts with her breathing, I put the loop around her front right leg. And then you can see it's behind that left one. And then I just put cotton balls in her ears just so it's not blowing right in her ears whenever I go to her face. She does pretty good with that. When I'm drying, I like to start at the back and I just work my way up. I take it in sections instead of just blow drying all over the place. If you do the same process with each dog, I find that it speeds up the time and they kind of get a sense for each step that you do if you do the same thing every time with them. In this way, I just like to make sure they're completely dry. Now her face is the only thing that I cannot get 100% dry because she doesn't let me. And also with how much her eyes just water all the time, it's impossible for me to get that 100% dry and for it to look good. So my main focus is just getting her as clean as possible and just making sure her eyes are cleaned up as good as I can. And usually when I'm drying a dog's face, I'll turn down the blow dryer quite a bit and I'll take the nozzle off. And as you can see in just a second, I'll put the hose in between my shoulder. Yeah, right there, you can see it. And so if I put this on low, it gives me more mobility to use both my hands to be able to dry her. This is what I do for pretty much every dog. It's just a lot easier to do it this way because I don't have a stand dryer. So we just work with what we have. You're going to see she starts to fight me just a little bit the closer I get to her face, her nose, and her eyes. So I pretty much just go with whichever direction she's wanting to go in and just not make her mad. And so that's why I don't completely blow dry her eyes, because she starts to fight me, and also I'm just not going to give her a hard time. I'm sure it's uncomfortable having your nose that close to your eyeballs, but we do what we can. And you can see me here, I'm just holding that hose between my shoulder and neck and just getting her tail nice and fluffed out, making sure there's no knot. And right here you can see that she knows that I'm about to start doing something she doesn't like. She doesn't fight me for her nails, but this is kind of her way of telling me, I don't really want to stand up. And so hers were pretty long, so I decided to clip them first. I usually don't do this unless they're super long. And now I'm going to go back over in just a second with the Dremel and just smooth those out. I use the Dremel on every single dog. I've just realized that most of them do a lot better with it than just the regular clipping. And also, I don't want her to scratch her people. It's not fun. And also, I spent over $100 on my Dremel bit, so I'm going to get my use out of it. I'm going to take my wall bravura and just on the shortest setting, do her paw pads. And with her back legs, she is extremely sensitive. She does not like picking them up. I can't remember if she had a surgery or something, but the more easy I am, she does a lot better. So we just don't fight her. We just do what we can. If it's not the cleanest, I don't care. And her owners don't care either. Now, as best as I can, the bridge of her nose and the corners of her eyes. I just take as much as I can just to keep her clean. It's so stained and you can see the redness. Just like it to get as clean as possible. And she doesn't like her little lippies being done, but it just looks cleaner. I'm just going to back brush her everywhere. Instead of fluff drying, I just dry her completely with the force dryer, and then I go back over with just a regular slicker brush and brush all her hair up. And she's going to lay down. I used to get mad, but at this point, I'll get it done regardless. I'm just going to do what she wants so she doesn't get more scared of the process. And like I said before, taking my 0 clip comb with the vac, and I'm just doing it with a wide blade and a wide clip comb just to make the process a little bit faster. And after I get done with the side, I'm going to try and gently pick her up. As you can see, she kind of just likes to move and go wherever she wants to. So instead of getting mad, I'm just going to go with it, and I'm just going to move to her face and her neck instead, and just take it down her chin and down the sides, getting that all cleaned up. I know it's hard to see under that other ear. And we're going to lay down again.
No. No.
With her back legs being so sensitive, I try my best to pick them up in a way that doesn't hurt her. She never screams in pain, but I can tell her joints are not right when you can feel them popping. So the less movement for her, the better. So if her back legs are not even, I'm not mad about it. Her mom's not mad about it. We're just cleaning her up.
Would you mind putting on the air whenever you get a second? That's all you did? Yep, it should be good.
I really like using the clipper vac because it saves a lot of time to where I don't have to keep back brushing and going back over the same spots over and over again. You back brush once, and then the clipper vac sucks. It pulls up the hair as it's cutting. And it's a lot less messy too. You see the only hair on the table is from her paw pads and her face and her sanitary when I clipped them just a few minutes ago. And here I think I have a 1 clip comb with my Heiniger opals. I take this on the insides of her legs to save on scissoring time. It's just a little bit easier just to skim over those hairs that are sticking out. Now I'm taking that 1 clip comb on the sides of her face as well. The less scissoring, the better. I'm not the best at scissoring. Now notice some hair sticking from her armpit, so I'm going to squeeze her armpit to where that hair pokes out, and I'm just using the longest setting on my reverse again just to clean that up.
Good girl.
Now I'm taking my, I think they're 9-inch bloom curved shears from Sierra. I got them from the little subscription Foxy Roxy. These are my absolute favorite curved shears. I literally pick them up for everything that I do. And I really want to get a second pair because these keep getting kicked off the table. Which is my fault because I set all my tools on the table. But it saves, I don't know how much time it saves, but I do it anyways. The less walking back and forth to my toolbox I have to do, it's just easier for me. I'm taking my chunkers and just cleaning up her elbow. And just cleaning that up is good. You can see I'm taking that little bit off the back of her arm and brushing up and just going back over it again. I'm going to take that pink brush and just brush the top of her feet upwards, and then I'm just going to try and round them off a little bit on the tops. And as you can see, since I took that one clip comb to the insides of her legs, there's not really anything that I have to do inside of there. I'm just taking my curves and just cleaning up her feet at this point, keeping them on the table.
Alright.
And I'm going to do the same to this foot over here. Still using those curves.
No, Billy. Stay.
And here in just a second, when I try and move her, she just wants to lay down. So she fights me for a second. She doesn't want to go into the position that I want her to go in. So I just take it slow, take it easy, and just slow movements. And she was like, okay. So she kind of gives in and she'll stand up for me.
This way. No, you're not doing that. No.
And here what I'm doing, I need to get to these certain parts and she's not letting me. So I'm just gonna use a belly band just to pick her up. It's not too high, it's just to get her to stand up. Just so I don't have to fight with her. I can keep her head where I need it to be. And so I can see any little parts that I have missed, like back here on this foot. Alright, for her head, I can't remember, I think I used an O clip comb. I'll see it here in a second if I flip the clippers over. I'm just going to pull that from back to front and just get all that cleaned up. Yeah, that's an O on there. I saw the yellow. I forgot to take her cotton balls out of her ears, so I decided to do that now. Brush everything forward. Make sure there's no knots. Just going to take that one more time and go all over the top of her head. I don't know why I decided to use that flea comb as the comb, but pull everything forward and just use my curves to make sure her eyes are nice and clean. And just take it super slow because any dog is ready to jerk their head at any time. So I just go slow, take my time. Gonna flip this ear up. Don't know why I'm using that flip. There we go. There's a regular comb. And just get all that's hanging in front of her ear. And just try and blend that as well as I can. Her face is just a really crappy texture. And the way her mouth and her tear staining is just not very clean. Gonna flip that other ear back. Maybe. and hold it with my other hand, pull that forward, and just with my curves again, cut that little bit of extra overhang off, especially in front of the ear. And then I'm going to use my thinners, my Kenchi 5-star thinners, and just try and smooth that out as best as I can. I'm really not looking for perfection on her. It's kind of hard to do so just with her face shape and the texture of her hair. It's just hard. Even when I try and pull down that little bit of tear stained hair, it's not very easy to clean up and shape. But I'm just trying to thin it as best as I can just to make the edges smooth. I can't get rid of it. It's always going to be there. Gonna take my curves again and just clean up her ears. I don't think I show it in the video, but the ears look very choppy when I'm done, but I go back over after the video and thin them out just a little bit. I should have done that in the video, but it wasn't until after I finished the video and looked back and I was like, those ears are choppy. We need to thin them just a little bit at the bottoms. They're even, but it was just not the clean, soft look that I was wanting. Yeah, she looks a little bit better, but you see as soon as she opens her mouth, those hairs that stick out right under her eyes, there's nothing that I can do about them unless I shave her entire face, which that's not what Mom wants. She's gonna get a cute sunflower bandana, and I typically don't tie the bandanas in a knot. I use a little black elastic, so in case the owners just want to pull it off really easy at home, they don't have to cut it off. I'm gonna add this cute little yellow bow just to finish her off. This is Tilly's finished look. She feels a lot better. She might not be as cute as I would like, but she's a lot cleaner than she was and she's comfortable. Like and subscribe this video for more dog grooming content. Thanks for watching.